Speech and language distinguishes us from all other species. We are not only using words to be able to express ourselves, but we're really expressing our thought processes that are unique to ourselves.
For most of us, it just happens.
Is such a sophisticated skill, and yet children learn it so easily with minimal effort at all.
That's Mummy.
And when you start thinking about it, it is quite miraculous how the brain does it.
But despite decades of research, how we learn to talk remains a mystery. How did disability evolve? Why is it uniquely human? And is it something we are born with, or something that we learn?
It strikes me as surprising and odd that we know an enormous amount about, for example, the first fractions of a second in the history of the universe. But we really know very little at all about what makes us human and where language comes from.
The wonder of language may not yet be fully understood. But how we start to talk is now being observed minute by minute for the first time. Cognitive scientist Deb Roy realized that to discover how a child learns to speak, he'd have to be able to see and hear them 24 hours a day. His solution was to take the extraordinary step of turning his own home into a language laboratory. And his guinea pig was his own son.
My wife and I were expecting our first child, and we had many conversations around, would this be possible? Could we set up our home as an observation space and actually capture this kind of rich longitudinal record of our own child's development from birth? And that's what we set out to do.
And so was born the Speech Home Project, the most ambitious language observation experiment ever seen. Cameras and microphones recorded every second of Deb's son's life, from the moment he was born until he was 3 years old. Capturing in precise detail the process of how we learn to talk.
Blue ball, yeah.
From the earliest unintelligible babble to the emergence of a very first word.
Apple.
Yeah!
Apple. My interest going in was really to understand the earliest stages of language formation. And the typical development stages in language, a child will go from babbling to using single words, usually as complete requests and descriptions. And then from that, they will start what's called a two-word stage, where they'll put two words together, like more milk. And from that, very quickly, more complex grammatical structures emerge.
That's a green car. That's a blue car. That's an orange car. That's another orange car.
My focus and my aim was to capture the phase up to the two-word utterance. And that could happen anywhere between second and third birthday. It turned out my son was an early talker, so by the time his second birthday arrived, we had the main data set we wanted.
By the time recording was complete, more than 240,000 hours of information and 16 million words had been collected.
It's a lot of data, but in its raw form, it's useless. And so the challenges this now sets up for us is how to start extracting the right kind of metadata, transcripts of who said what, annotations of where those people were, annotations of how they're moving, and the relationships that they were in as they were speaking. And these are the tools that we're now building to analyze the raw data. And from that, we're starting to see some early insights into the patterns of language development.
Despite the mountains of video footage, Deb Roy is already uncovering the intricate effect daily life has on language development. It seems cooing to your baby is not just instinct, it's essential. In the months leading up to their son's first words, he and his wife unconsciously simplified their speech. Then, as their son's own speech develops, they began to use longer sentences again, mirroring the child's own development.
What's that over there? Over there, that ball.
Game ball.
Oh.
For the very first time, the analysis has also enabled Deb to piece together the precise emergence of individual words, charting how a new word is born.
Okay, water, water.
So my son, around his first birthday, started using the sound gaga to indicate water, and then over the next several months learned to slowly approximate the proper speech form.
Water.
Just like time-lapse video lets you capture a flower blossoming, what we're going to hear is the blossoming of a speech form.
Okay, water, water.
Water? Water? Water. That's water.
Water.
It will take years for Deb Roy and his team to analyze all of the data. But buried within this footage are the secrets of how we learn language. If the patterns can be unlocked, then once this remarkable project is complete, we will have the clearest understanding yet of how a child achieves the remarkable feat of learning to talk.